All right, well, good morning. My name is Austin Heislip. I am one of the organizers here with 1 Million Cups. We've got other organizers. Raise your hand if you're an organizer. All right, we need speakers always. If any of you know anybody that's got a business, long-term, short-term, small, medium, find them. Let them know we always need a speaker. Go to this next slide. And there's some of the pictures. Johnny's right there. Who else? Michelle. Oh, yeah, Michelle's back there. Yeah. Oh, my microphone is big. Here's some of the sponsors. S&B has got some stuff up here, so I forgot my name tag this morning. I'm with Arvest Bank, but S&B has their stuff. I mean, yeah, it's there. And then we also have some 1 Million Cup swag as well. And then Granny Schaefer's always provides the coffee. And I'm willing to bet the next slide is Jason Spangler. Come on in.
Am I on?
Yep.
Okay, very good. Well, first of all, thank you for letting me come today and present. I appreciate the opportunity. I am here seeking $250,000 for 15% of my business. Am I at the wrong show?
Wrong show.
Okay, let's do this one then. I'm looking for some feedback on this sales presentation. Someone who's going to walk you through a sales presentation because I like to have some feedback for. I like that as a customer. The first time you hear this, you would be thinking, yeah, that sounded good. It resonated with me. I'd appreciate that kind of feedback, and then that kind of pushed me back a little. I'd appreciate that kind of feedback. That's one. And then secondly, I'd like to see about your brainstorming with you guys about how to get the message out. So because of COVID, one of the things that has evolved from that is we can do so much now correspondently. So Zoom is a huge thing for me. So being able to reach groups outside of our area and help coach them. And so that's what I am as a business coach, leadership training. So I'm EQI certified. If you've ever heard of emotional quotient, emotional intelligence, I'm certified in that. And that lets you evaluate yourself on your emotional intelligence, which is something we can improve on, unlike our intellect, which we can't improve on. As a matter of fact, at the age of 20-something, like everything else, it starts heading downhill. But emotional quotient, what that does is helps our employees be better. It helps us retain better managers. It helps us resolve problems. So that's a great opportunity to help educate the leaders and your employees. But today I want to focus on what I do for the small business owner as we walk through the presentation. So here's our plan. This is what I would present to the potential customers. We're just going to kind of walk through these things today, and I'm going to ask them if that sounds okay with them. So first I want to make sure that they understand who I am as their business coach and why I feel like I'm a good fit to be their business coach. And then later on I'm going to hear their story in how their business evolved. We all have a story where we got what we did today. We didn't wake up a real estate agent, an insurance agent. We became that. And so I want to walk through that story with them. So here's a little history of mine. I'm not going to go through that with you, but I do have a medical background. I was a radiology director at Lamar. I was a radiology director at McKeown Brooks in Carthage, and then became their information systems director and their Y2K coordinator. I wasn't that, yeah. Good thing I was on the job. So you have me to thank for the fact that didn't go south. And so I do have some more formal education as well. I've got a master's degree in business. I have an associate's in radiology, a bachelor's in management of allied health services. I've got some certifications in some technology stuff, so I'm Citrix certified. And so forth. And also, informal education is probably the most valuable. That's the life lessons that we learn. In Lowell, we just inducted Lowell into the Grandpa Club just the other day, and I've got 10 of them. So I'm loving that. I was a pastor of a church, and so forth. So anyway, that's just kind of some experience for me that I would present to the potential client so they could kind of see. And this is really the reality of why you as a business owner would want to hire a business coach is because the odds are stacked against us. 70% of us are going to fail in 10 years. 50% of us are going to fail in the first 5 years. And typically, a client, what I'm looking for is someone that's been in business for about 3 years or more. And the idea is that you're paying yourself from your business. So if you're just starting out, it's tight, I get it. And you got to wear all the hats as an entrepreneur. But at some point, you got to start getting some of your life back. And so that's when by bringing the business coach on, we can help you stay on track to become that big thing that you want to become and have those big goals that you want to accomplish. So we can just walk that journey together. And one of the things is have that business coach come alongside you to help you not be part of the statistic. And here's another interesting score is retired CEOs. and they help kind of brainstorm, and they help small businesses grow. And what they realized in the study they did, 78% of small businesses lack a solid plan. And we know, we kind of just winged it, right? We jumped in there, we got started. And so, and 73% of our business owners are optimistic about sales. I build it, they'll come, right? But we know as we built it, it takes a little bit to get people aware what you got going on and make that connection so that they can see it. 77% of them aren't priced properly. And so that's one of the things as a business coach we'll walk through, making sure that you're getting the most out of your product. And then 70% won't seek help. And that's where I was. I was, because I had a small business. The last one I just sold was my commercial cleaning company. So I had 20 employees. We were regional, so we went to Pittsburgh, Joplin, Carthage, Neosho, Miami, Oklahoma. So we kind of ran that ground, and I didn't seek help. And the fact is that not 89% of us wish we had, and I'm one of those 89%. So once I sold the business back a year ago, I decided I'm going to help other people. I love helping, I love teaching, and so this is an opportunity to come alongside people and watch their dreams come true. And so don't be part of that 70%. And so again, business coach, I'm going to tell you again, the idea here is that I'm trying to help you walk alongside you and recognize that this coaching that you're going to pay for is going to pay for itself. And we'll talk a little more about that in my guarantee. 75%, is coaching good for me as a business owner? 75% of the people that have had coaching said it was considerably greater or far greater than the money that they had invested. So the statistic, and that's from the International Journal of Evidence-Based Coaching and Mentoring. So it does benefit to hire a coach. As a business owner, 61% clients say that they improved their business management skills thanks to coaching. So I got a better grasp. Most of us are good at what we do, which is building widgets, making cabinets, that kind of thing, and nobody got into business to be sales. I haven't met anyone yet. I started a business and I'm a salesman. That's what I do. It's a sales business. Nobody does that, but when they get into business, you got to start selling, right? You got to go out and find the yards that need your services. And so 61% said it helped with their management skills of their business. Now here's an interesting statistic. 86% of the companies said that they could calculate the return on their investment. 28% had 10 to 49% results on the money. So if they spent $1, they got 10 to 49 times that dollar back. 19% reported 50%, or 50 times, I'm sorry. And the median is 7. So, here's my promise with a client. So if you hire PROfusion to come alongside you, I'm going to promise 150% of my fee back to you in revenue. So I'm going to be, I call it the Apostle Paul method. And so I'm going to go to work for my own salary. You do your part, I'm going to do my part. Together, I'm going to pay my wages back to you in revenue. And I'm going to give you 50% more than what you paid me back to you in revenue. The results are trackable. This isn't just something that we just do. We're going to track the numbers. We're watching your sales. Where were your conversion rates? Where were your leads? We're going to do all of that tracking. I have a system that you log into when we have our weekly huddle. And during that time, we'll walk through each one of those key performance indicators. And that guarantee too is in the first 30 days. If you're 30 days into this and you're going, that's not for me, we can get out and I'll give you money back for that first 30 days. So that's kind of my promise to the client. Our purpose for business coaching is to increase profitability, to build an amazing team. So team building, if you have employees, obviously that's a huge help. You essentially franchise yourself. You can't do it all, business owners. You have to recognize that at some point, you're either going to own your job or you're going to own a business. If you want to own a business, here come the employees. And so I want to help you build that amazing team. And I also want to help you free up some of your time. One of the things that we go through as a business coach is life-work balance. Sometimes we get out of control. And I want to help the business owner stay in control of their life so they can have quality and not just be working all the time. Inevitably, I find that small business owners, they're very driven. I wouldn't call them workaholics per se, and probably because I was one. I don't want to admit to that I have a problem. But a lot of us, we're just so driven. And so what happens is we're doing this for our family, but we're not being with our family. We're doing this so that we can achieve that higher level of income, but I can't spend it because all I do is work. And so I want to help you recognize that and then get that under control. And so again, talking about increasing the value of your business. And this is that website I was telling you we're going to log in. We're just going to begin to go down that each meeting and talk about our key performance indicators. What is salespeople? I need salespeople pulling 20 doors a week, then we're going to have that number. Ralph's KPIs, key performance indicator, is 20 doors this week. And so when we sit down in our huddle, Ralph, did you do 20 doors this week? No, I only did 15. What happened? And we have that conversation. And then next week. Here's the deal, 65% chance of achieving your goal if you have an accountability partner. So if you just tell so-and-so, I'm going to do this, 65% chance you're going to succeed on that. It goes to 95 if you know you're going to face them again in a week. It goes to 95%. So that's where, again, coaching helps get you that better result. Now, I do have 3 levels of participation, so this is where I would walk you through and recognize that this is my entry level. We're looking at, you can get 2 coaching sessions a month for up to 60 minutes. So we can do 4 30 minutes or we can do 2 60-minute sessions. We're going to have a strategic planning session where we, before we even start, what's our goal here? What are we trying to accomplish? So we're going to walk through that and develop that. And so again, materials, templates, email support's all included. 4 times per month, we're going to, when we do sit down and have that conversation, we're going to have some critiquing too. You know, what could we improve on? How can we make ourselves better? Support for your partnerships, if you have that. Up to 2, we'll have those conversations with your partners in the business. And then 2 suppliers, our customer consultation. So I'm actually going to go to where you provide your services. How was your service experience? What was your customer? What did you experience when you got their product, when you got their service? And you're going to get an honest opinion. Because people love to share when you're not there. and so that gives that opportunity to give you that, hey, this was what they experienced. Wow, I didn't see that. And then we can have those kind of conversations and make ourselves better. So that's the one plan. Here's the next level up. What happens is in each one of these levels, it becomes more time commitment together. And the idea is the more we work together, the quicker we can get to where you want to go. And then this is the last one. We're doing 4 coaching sessions up to 2 hours each. So we're spending some time together to make this thing happen as quick as you can. We're going to quarterly review the strategic plan that we set up. How are we doing? Did we get to where we wanted to go? Are we on track? Because obviously the step of 1,000, right, begins with 1. So we want to make sure that did we take a step today in the right direction or not? And so we'll have those quarterly meetings to prove that. And so again, so looking at that, then I run the numbers. 150% of my fee is if you hire me and you take the business partnership, I'm looking at getting you back $13,950 in revenue. And we're gonna go to work. And then associate, and then the executive. So also as a business owner, then I just start talking about you. Where are you at in this graph? You know, I know a lot of us spend a lot of time in the chaos phase. That's just, we're growing, money's coming in, money's going out, the company's bleeding money all the time. The cash flow, we're sending invoices out, but we're not getting paid quickly. But yet my accounts payable is there saying, hey, I need my money. and so we're in the chaos phase. We need to get out of that chaos phase. And so what I find is in that 3-year, you're there. And you probably feel like it the whole first 3 years because it's fun. It's like dating. It's fun, exciting at the beginning. So those little things, oh, I can look past that. Oh, she's so cute in this business because we're just growing. But then it becomes, oh my gosh, if you don't stop breathing, I'm going to choke you. It becomes that in this business. And this business then becomes you against your family. It just seems that way. And so I want to get you out of that as quick as we can. So I ask you, where are you at in your business process? Do you feel like you have freedom? Do you feel like you have prosperity? Are you in control? And that's the question. So I would just ask my customer, which one do you think you're at? Well, every winning team needs a great coach, and that's what this is about. So there's a consultant, which does the work for you, and then there's a coach that just mentors you, teaches you how to do it, and then you do the changes. You take control. And so my role as a coach is I want you to be aware of the possibilities. Your business is a great business. You have great potential here. I want to educate you on the best business practices because again, you're a great widget maker. You weren't necessarily designed to be the business owner. Accountability is huge, and I want to help you achieve your peak performance by holding you accountable. So one of those conversations we have, and I'm not really good at confrontation, but I can do it. Like I said, as a manager, I've dealt with several people. As radiology director, we just deal with it. We can deal with this. So trust me, we'll be okay. But I'm going to ask you, how do you like to be coached? Do you like it when I just tell you straight plain, hey, you're stinking right now. We need to do better. Or do you want me to be soft about it? Well, you did really good, but we could do this a little better. What do you think? And we can do that too. So it just depends on what color code or the Myers-Briggs. It just depends on what your personality is. We'll have that conversation. So you don't have to worry about the coach coming down on me. It just depends on how you want to be corrected. So again, as a business owner, you have a choice. You can keep doing things the way you're doing, or you can invest in a coach to help you get to your goal. And so again, point A to point B, the revenue I have and the revenue I want, you will get there, possibly, right? You'll possibly get there if you don't burn out before. Again, 70% of us are going to quit in 10 years because we're tired of it. It's just, I can't do this anymore, and we're bailing. So we can do it quicker by hiring a coach. And so that's the gap that I'm trying to achieve, is the revenue you have versus the revenue you want. We're going to walk through that together, and that becomes your investment. What am I going to pay to get me to that? And again, and my promise to you is to get 150% of that back to you. So you're really not investing anything. So again, you can continue to do the same things, or you can get there quicker. You can DIY. So this is a light fixture. It's a little hard to tell if those are flashlights hanging from a light fixture because they didn't know how to fix the light fixture. The toilet, the door, they cut away so the door would open. And then the toilet on the end there, they just put the seats upside down so the lid goes down first and not the ring. So you had one job to do. So again, we want to clarify your vision. This is where we walk them through. We want to clarify your vision. We're going to do a strategic plan, and then we're going to commence with the weekly coaching sessions to get you there. And here's how I do it. I have 21 silver bullets, or 21 breakthrough plans is what I call it. During our conversation, we've talked about what your problems are, and then we begin to look at these plans. Okay, so you have one of three areas: time, team, or money is where your pain's going to be. Time, team, or money. So if you want to start in the team section, let's do that. If you don't have a team, we're going to start with the time or the money part over there. Probably we're going to start with the money if you don't have a team. Unique selling proposition. That's my unique selling proposition, is I promise you 150% of my fee. What that is remove the risk. That's a no-brainer. I can do that. You, as a salesperson for your company, you need to reduce the risk so that people say, yeah, I want that thing better than and it means more to me to get that than the risk. If the risk is too high, even though I want that thing, I'm not going to do it. The risk's too high. So you take the risk off by offering them a unique selling proposition and a guarantee. What makes you different than your competition? So we'll just walk through that whole plan. There's the break-even plan. There's the business plan that we mentioned. There's that cash gap when I talked about accounts payable versus accounts receivable. If your money's going out too fast, you're gonna be out of business because the cash flow, you're just not gonna be able to pay your bills, even though you've got growth happening. So we'll walk through that. So just again, depends on where you're at and which plan you want to pick to start with, and then we begin to work through those things together. And at the very end of our meeting, I'm going to walk you through, these are some stats that you gave me. You have 1,500 leads last year. You have a conversion rate of about 33%. So you convert 33% of those. So that means you had 9 customers the year before. So when you ended that year, you had 1,400 clients, new clients. That's taking into account your conversion rate. Each client is worth $86. So we've ran these numbers together. This is how we can make sure that you're going to get that 150% of my fee back. Your revenue last year was 120. You have a gross profit margin of 42%. Your fixed costs and your net revenue, or your net profit, you end up taking home $14,000 for the year. This is where you are. Well, I'm going to walk you through the profit equation worksheet together. What if we just tweaked a little? So our conversion rate, you said, was 33%. What if we just converted 2% more next year? That seems like something you could accomplish if we tighten up our sales pitch. If we learn how to make the offer and then be silent, we learn some sales tactics. Is 2% too much to ask for? So we run those things through. And once I plug those numbers, we can look at the bottom. It went from 14,000 to 39,000 just by making small little changes, because they add together, those small little changes. And then at the end of the year, we've changed our numbers. So that's just that walkthrough that I want to do in that profit equation with each client, so they can see how we're not talking about dream stuff. This is just simple, easy steps. It's like working out on your workout plan. So we're not going to go in the gym and start pressing 400 pounds. We're going to get there, but we start with 100, and we'll work our way up. That's it. So that kind of gave you a little journey that I want to take the client through. So feedback. What do you think? Yes, sir.
I'd say your pricing more towards the end, keep hitting on their buys.
Okay.
And maybe when you you start talking about some of the percentages.
Yes.
Phrasing questions is like, what if I could help you get anywhere from 65 to 90% of your goals? That'd be a good thing.
Yeah.
And then
Very
share
good.
examples, I think some of that, and that way it's building the desire higher.
Yes.
Makes the price point, I think, really clear. Not that it's low, but it
Yes.
offsets the scale for it.
Good. That's good. Appreciate that.
Yeah, if you have a question, if you use the mic, because we're recording, so.
I am so sorry.
And it needs to be kicked on too.
Oh. I got to say it again.
Is it all the way up? The switch is all the way up?
That's right. Yep, I heard it.
Also, to kind of build on what he had mentioned, whenever you're talking about goals,
Yes.
and you had the swirly going from A
Yes.
to B. So also asking them kind of, whenever you see the little goals you're being set, how likely are you to be able to take the time on your own to be able to achieve those goals without proper guidance? Because even though you might know what the goals look like, are you actually gonna get there on
Yeah.
your own? And I mean, that also kind of feeds in with the accountability portion of it as well.
Yeah, that's great. I'll take it. Did you turn it off?
Okay.
I think we
Thank you.
probably leave it on.
Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't work.
Oh.
Yeah. So what I was thinking is that you talk about consultant versus coach,
Yeah.
but then you never really share any numbers of like success that you've had. Like, so how many
Oh.
business owners have you worked with that have
Okay.
had like this, have had that 150% growth in their
Okay.
business? I'd love to hear more about that.
Okay,
Um,
okay. So testimonials.
yeah,
Okay.
for sure.
Sales focus. Okay.
Great presentation. I am so proud of you. And the thing about entrepreneurs that are passionate about entrepreneurs, they've been there, done that.
Yeah.
And so that comes across completely in your presentation. Loved every bit of it. And the need is great, of course. So when you're asking us how we can get the word out, dive into that a little bit more, and then I've got a follow-up.
Okay, so what I'm looking for, obviously we want to communicate. Social media is one way to do it. I do a networking group, so that's my hunting strategy, is I'm in Rotary in the Osho. I'm in a networking ING where we met on Thursdays at Granny Schaefer's. I'm also an ING in the Osho. And so those are my hunting strategies. But as far as getting information out to the world, I've got a podcast tomorrow at Springfield that I'm going to be on, and then I've got one in the UK. Incidentally, the top 3% in the UK on iTunes, and so I'm going to be on their podcast. So that my idea is by being on those podcasts is that helps get my information out there for an audience to develop. And then YouTube, I have a YouTube channel where I post coaching videos that just gives the information, because you can go to the gym and you can press that stuff and do it on your own, and that you'll get there. And so I want to give the information. In that case, that information's going out for free.
Good, two-part follow-up. So the graphic that you've got with the swirlies going from A to B, just a visual on that, the one where you show the more efficiency.
Yes.
To scale, it looks like it's the same amount of time. If there's a way you could show that where it's taking longer with its, that way, because time is money.
It is.
And then the last question is, it's a beautiful program that you've got set up to do that one-on-one coaching. What is your maximum amount of number of clients that you can have before you feel like you have to scale and duplicate what you're doing?
Yeah, well, I think we're looking in the somewhere in the 20 to 30 range on the clients, to give them, especially if we start in those 4 hours every session. Because even when I'm not with you, I'm focused on your business and what I can, for our next meeting, what I really want to focus in on. So I need to have that. So yeah, at some point, that's where I would want to bring on another associate coach that we could work together in. I'm also a certified professional coach through the College of Executive Coaching, working on my International Coaching Federation certification as well. So executive coaching is something that I can do. So there's executive coaching model, there's the leadership development, which is that EQI, emotional intelligence, and then there's this business coaching. So yeah, probably 20 to 30 max what I would think, and then I don't have to scale.
Is
Yeah,
the
but it's-
UI like an ongoing thing, or is it like a more one-time?
It usually ends up being a session, so we get together with your people and we have this kind of activity, and you're gonna take the test. The test is gonna be reviewed, it ends up being like a 36 or 37 page report that everybody gets, telling you where you are. And if you've ever done the color code, if you've ever done Myers-Briggs or DISC, the beautiful information about that is, oh, that's why I act this way when this happens to me. And we can walk through that. And so also it helps you when you talk to me, that you talk to me in the way I want to be talked to. The love languages is something else that Gary, I think it was? Chapman, no, Smalley? Anyway, love language, love it, there are 5 of them. If I know your love language, acts of service is what means something to you, while mine is physical touch. I can come to you with gifts and speak to you in a way that if I came to you with physical touch, you're not gonna like that, because that's not your love language. So same thing in the world at DISC. So those end up being sessions, the material's given, education happens, and then we can follow up in 6 months, a year, and see how things are going.
Good presentation. So, one of the things you're talking about, like you've got a podcast here and you've got a YouTube thing, wherever. So one thing I encourage is, number one, is consistency.
Yeah.
You know, if you're gonna commit to, once a week or once every other week or something, so that it's on a consistent basis. That's number one. The number two is that you're talking about lots of one-on-one, but you're talking about you're gonna get certified international and you wanna do more Zoom and stuff. So think about the possibility of maybe offering like a Facebook group.
Yeah.
Or something where you can bring more people in and have some kind of an option instead of just one-on-one sit-down coaching.
Yeah.
That you've got like either some group coaching they can join or something like that, to where you can bring more people in to grow your bigger audience.
Yeah, that's great. Well, yeah. So my thought was is a mastermind session.
Yeah.
So maybe on Fridays and we meet at 1 to 2, to where anyone that's a coaching client can jump into that. We can just brainstorm some stuff, because apps on our phone, man, this really helped me do this. Just having those kinds of conversations help all of us, no matter whether we're widgets or service based. It doesn't matter. You just begin to find out how these apps can jump into your life and make yourself so much more helpful. Like I got Microsoft Office Professional that includes Access and Outlook, $44 with Windows 11. $44, full license. I don't have to renew it. Does that sound like something that could help a small business owner? Because normally I'm guessing that's in the $200 range. So it's that kind of information. Where'd you get that? I got that from Sean Hanby. Sean Handy has a website where they sell stuff. I got this at $44 for Office 2021. So it's just little tips like that we could give each other. Plus, hey, I'm struggling with this employee. What would you guys do? Get that feed. Kind of like this is what it is, but it happens in that mastermind session. So yeah, that's coming.
Anybody else have any questions?
Is someone with the microphone?
I've got to redeem myself. No, I really liked also your breakdown, like coach versus consultant, because I think people would put that together in their minds. So I think when you attack that, that's a good strategy.
Thank you.
Calling out also what you have versus what you want, because if they're talking to you, that already tells you like you have a problem, we know it. How do I get you there? And maybe even the rephrasing where you did your price breakdown, but also leading in with what if I could give you back $7 for every one, because that's my average.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, just kind of
That's a good point.
building on the concept becomes like you almost feel dumb saying no.
Yeah, that's right.
Then I was also just gonna ask, have you ever taken a coaching session or counseling session with a business pro yourself to understand that viewpoint as your customer?
I have. Remember, I was the 89% that wish that they had. So it all came after the fact. So I had 3 businesses. One was a computer retail store, grew that up from 0, sold it. The other was an internet service provider in Carthage, Missouri, grew that one up and sold it. And then this last one was the 20-employee Living Green commercial cleaning that we did, sold that one. So all those were done without, but man, I could have gotten there so much quicker had I had a coach. So, but yes, I have a coach now that helps guide me along the journey too. So I'm practicing what I preach. And I'm not gonna do that anymore. I did it alone too many times. that DIY. I'm that guy, you know. One of the stories I share on Facebook is I took my transmission apart on my Vega. It was a 4-speed transmission. Took it apart, and it was like, oh my gosh, I've forgotten where I'm at on this thing. I had to put it in a box and take it in and have the transmission shop put it back together for me, and so I could put it back into the vehicle. I was willing to take that on. I've never done a transmission before. How hard could it be? And that was before YouTube. So yeah, before YouTube, I'm using the manual. So I don't want to be that guy, and I know a lot of us, and typically it's going to be the older crowd that tends to be more DIYers, but there's no sense in doing this alone. We can do this together and get you there quicker before burnout.
Anybody else?